And Galley. I like it. P2000 users unite. But Little Bocks have some utility. They have some Glocks. And they have another map to put on the board to try and get some revenge against Slay. If they're able to get this one, it would convert it. They're going to push out towards Fountain, though, going the playground route. And Blender wisely falls away despite having a friend in Vanessa next to her. They want to play a little more defensively here. Do not want to get overwhelmed with the Glocks, because when you let a Glock close the gap, it becomes so incredibly deadly. Most rather have a Glock than a USP or a P2K in anything short to mid-range in terms of engagement. Blender trying to take the long-range fight down towards a lane. The bomb's gone towards Khan, though, holding a light angle. That's a bit dangerous. And there comes a Glock pushing close. Blender gets mowed down.
Vanessa waiting here. And she is with Gloop. Little Bocks have stalled out just a tad. They want to give Slay a little more to think about. Vanessa still continues to info hop. She does see one, and here's the bullets whiz right past her head. She ducks for cover behind Dicebox. Gloop will also get smoked off, so Vanessa's kind of isolated here. Has to hit the shots. There's one. Looks towards long. Spots out Sapphire. Gets the second, not the third. Sirius and Kimmy come through and take this A site pretty much and now completely. Pippi Sippy, the last one standing, rotating back with only 4 HP. Well, there's not much of a hope for success. She has to be absolutely perfect on the shots, and Little Bucks don't even hit the A site. They rotate back towards B to get that plant.
It's a good move there by Little Bocks, and Pippi Sippy on 4 HP just dashes by the 9mm rounds of Cirrus, who tries to catch her off down the stairwell through towards heaven. Will get the job done at the end, and now 3 out of 3 pistol rounds have been converted for Little Bocks. It's definitely a big part of their victory is the pistol rounds. When it comes down to the close score lines, winning pistol can make a big difference, and it helped out Little Bocks and Inferno. It gives them the boost now. Vanessa with a couple of crispers, but just was not enough to get the round. The Glocks closing the gap. Just hard to overcome in the end. No force buy really coming forth here from Slay. Goop will go for it, though. 5-7 armor and a couple flashbangs. Everybody else, though, basically full saving. Galil, AKs, MAC-10s for Little Bocks, and a little bit less utility for them than maybe they could have been if they would have gone for Galils over AKs, but you want the AK in your hand regardless. And Sirius makes it sing with one opener. Has to be careful, though, as to not get overwhelmed. We've seen how lethal these pistols can be in both these two teams' hands. She's going to have to get out of dodge fast. They're flooding forth. They're coming over the wall. They've got 1, 2. She ran out of ammunition. The bomb has to be recovered. The AK has to be protected. They're going to concede the AK. Smiley, though, might be here to try and hunt it. Might be here to try and take it back. Reclaim that lost territory. But Gloop, probably better served to just save that to the next, especially given the fact she invested heavily into this round. She saves here, and buy up the rest of her team. Well, doesn't need to buy, but their team can buy up around her. Blender can go for a hunt.
Yeah, I think it's important for Gloop to save because of that force buy. So Blender is just going to hang around, protect Gloop, and try to keep this AK up and running to the next round. Good job by the Little Bucks, and of course Cirrus in particular, to hang on there against the pistols that were swarming towards her and get a 3K. Even though she loses the AK, it's still nicely done and prevents a flank from coming through from the from Slay, excuse me. As Smiley will be chasing here, and Blender actually abandons Gloop, tries to go for a frag of her own, and well, it's not going to happen. So Gloop will just save this AK on forward, and the Little Bucks start off on Overpass the same way they did on Inferno with that 2-0 lead. Really strong on pistol rounds, in fact, on Little Bocks side. 3-0, perfect.
Oh, they don't get the AK back, but they do take it out of the hands of Gloop. So that is better than nothing. That's not bad at all. Definitely worth risking the MAC-10s too. It's going to be the buy up here from Slay, though. Gloop on an MP9. Not a terrible gun at all. Maybe seeing that up towards Con or Short B. Timeout called already early, though. I'm curious to see who's calling this timeout. Because if it is Slay, then it makes a lot more sense, I think, than it would be Little Bocks. Could just be a technical. No, it's Bocks. It's Little Bocks calling this timeout. Again, they call a timeout early. And it didn't work so well last map when they did the early timeout. In fact, Slay went on a 3-round streak. For Little Bocks now, what is the plan? There has to be one, especially off the back of a timeout. I'm curious, what the reasoning is behind these timeouts going to that first gun round. It's interesting. There has to be a plan behind it, and I'm curious as to what it is.
Well, just wanted to talk things over, I guess, and it might be a quick hit towards the B site because they are on a semi-bonus round. 3 players, in fact, carrying their guns over from that previous one. They come on board. This is excellent, but Gloop gets the opener. I thought Sapphire had the edge, but I guess the flashbang thrown by Bouchard helped out. Cirrus gets a second, but it's Pippy Sippy to come through. Get a response. 3v3, and the HP advantage lies in Slay's favor. It will be even further now as Pippy Sippy drops Bouchard, but the trade does come through. 200 HP for Slay, up against 118 on the little box with 116 left on the clock, but that won't matter soon as Smiley's going to plant this bomb. Kimmy, still not sure that flank is clear, and then Blender comes around the corner from Walkway, and time to take on Smiley. It's up to Kimmy once more in a 1v1, and she cannot find Vanessa, who wins it for her squad. And again, as was the case in the previous map, Slay come through with a 3rd round victory.
Yeah, off the back of the timeout again, it stalls out Little Box momentum from the looks of things. And while they did start off with the right trades, they took a lot of damage on that initial entry. It started to slip away from them in the end, and they lost in the 1v1. The money on Slay, not going to be great. They're going to have to toss guns around. The utility's going to be a little scrappy. The Little Box can buy up once again. Khalil being tossed over. Kimmy, what do you have? Scout for Kimmy. Rifles for the rest. A Scout for Blender. Rifles for the rest. Almost a mirror of buys for these two teams, although utility a little more plentiful over on the Little Box side. Actually, no. Slay's actually has a little more utility, huh? That's interesting. I wasn't expecting Slay to have more utility, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. They have the kid as well on Galley. Scout out towards long. Flashbang is good, and the Scout will not connect. Blender has to be careful. Might overextend. Flashes. Gets a little blinded by her own flash, and will peek out now. Doesn't connect the shot, though. Has to retreat. Shirley, by still sticking around. Another piece of utility comes in to force her away, and she's stuck out towards the corner. And Bouchard mows her down. Cirrus will pick up Galley as well out on B. So picks towards both sides of the map. Little Box can go wherever they so please.
Yeah, I mean, that's excellent opening picks coming through from the Little Box. They spotted a player towards long, and then the other one is at the B site. That's Cirrus on the lurk, and just a perfect situation here for the Little Bucks. Slay only have 1 player towards B, so at the very least, they are making the right call as to where to put the majority of their remaining players. But Little Bucks are pressing in from long, and they will gain that space shortly. The smoke is good as well for Bank, and that'll force Gloop to rotate around towards Dumpster. Vanessa though peeks at the right time, finds Bouchard. Gloop also gets Sapphire. 3v3, can they gain the edge? They do! And now Vanessa finds Kimmy, leaving only Cirrus standing. How does that fall apart for the Little Bucks? I guess just Slay playing around the smokes effectively, and Vanessa again coming through with an important 2 frags.
They got glooped. Plain and simple. Gloop with a FAMAS. Shuts it all down. The fact that Gloop gets 2 kills out of that situation is pretty incredible. And then Vanessa's right there for the trade frag onto Kimmy too. Slay getting a little closer here. Tying things up. Looking for the lead, and they should be able to get the lead pretty easily too. But here it is again. Gloop blind on the first, backs up, runs into the trash can, and then just decides, hey, I'm going to die anyways. Might as well take 1 down with me. And gets 2 out of a very rough situation. Turns the tide back into the favor of Slay. And that's something that really Little Box shouldn't allow to happen again.
Yeah, timeout needs to be called this time for sure to talk things over and say, what the heck went wrong? We had a 5v3. And now, well, their economy has been completely shot. Cirrus is going to bring that AK over from the previous round, but everyone else likely going to be on the eco here. And that is the case. 3 P250s bought up. Maybe Smiley going to get a pistol as well. But no, it's just going to settle for the Glock. Let's see if that AK can sing. It's happened before. It only takes 1 rifle to really turn around on its head. But Slay appear to be finding their rhythm once more on the rifle buy-ups. Okay, 4 A1Ss and the AK will come through here for Slay. Little Bucks, as mentioned, will be short-handed in terms of hardware. Cirrus with that AK heads on over. in towards a monster, and we'll be peeking back and forth. Not much utility for Slay has been thrown just yet. They did buy a decent chunk of it into the round, and there's a flashbang tossed on forward. Not going to make much of a difference as Cirrus manages to get the headshot onto Gloop. That's a great opener, but Pippi, Sippy, and Galley get a couple back. The thing is, the pistols are doing work. Galley has to make sure that she denies at least the bodies here, and does. The bomb goes down. Smiley surrounded by 3 players, only a Glock in hand, and that's certainly not going to be enough. So Galley with the 3K denies the round from the Little Bucks, but out of that, I think a bomb plant is excellent.
Yeah, bomb plant is indeed excellent. It's going to help Little Bocks out a lot. Fuse, though, comes through, and Slay repeat the initial scoreline of Inferno. So it's just the sides are flipped a little bit here.
Right.
But Slay do get themselves that 3-2 lead. How will Little Bocks respond? They've already expended 2 of their 4 timeouts, too, very early into this one. Their timeouts were a critical part of their success on Inferno. Right now, they've used half. They're down by 1. And another buy up. Cirrus is limited to a Galil. Once more, smoking the Molotov. They're going to go in towards Playground. There's no real aggression here from Slay. No op has yet to come out from either side either. We've had scouts. We've yet to see a big green gun here on Overpass. Neither team really with the economic standing to do so. Slow and steady default, though, for Little Bocks, probing up through long. And if Blender decides to over-aggress, could definitely get punished here. Maybe a flashbang from Pippi. Could get some information, maybe even a frag out towards long. But the attention is split between long and lane. Blender takes a shot, takes a tap. Unable to connect that one. Would have been pretty nice if that one hit, but I think the movement was just a little too much there. Cirrus clearing the wrong angle. Timing goes back to it, spots the leg, and gets the opener on the lurk. There's 3 towards A, but now it looks like Galley's going to rotate down to help out on B. Little Bocks in the meantime, though, might still stick with this A take and just completely leave Cirrus on this lurk. Does a little more damage, but that's going to reveal the lurk. Surely now they'll know.
Cirrus, just the timing wasn't in her favor, because if she had continued holding that angle towards sandbags, probably would have had Vanessa, but she looked away towards Squeaky Door for a moment, and that's when Vanessa came on through to get that frag. So evened up at a 4v4. Only 30 seconds left for the execute to come in from the Little Bocks. Perhaps burning a little bit too much time off the clock, but they will immediately toss the Molotov in. The smokes, the flashes, everything they've got is coming on forward. It's up to Slay to get the frags. They do get one, but it's traded right on back. Still even, and now the edge has been gained by the Little Bocks. Galley slips on through without really being spotted, but Sapphire was watching towards truck. Galley peeked out and found only a bullet to her head. Vanessa, last one standing now in a 1v3. Does have the kit. A little bit of time to push on forward. No one on the site proper for the Little Bocks. In fact, all 3 of them are playing around short A and bathrooms. Vanessa making sure that long is clear. Doesn't have any utility left. Has to at least take a fight here, and, well, given that she didn't spot anyone, it's probably going to end up being a save here. No, Vanessa's going to fight back into it. She looks around from short A, does manage to get the headshot on Smiley, so it was worth it, but will she even survive? I don't think so. Only 4 HP left now, and she goes down to the bomb. So Slay lose all their guns and the round.
That's a little unfortunate there for Vanessa, but she does get another one with her before she goes down. 3-3, though, all tied up. Little Bocks looking to get the lead back in hand, looking to really pile on the pressure as they're on the T side of Overpass. Overpass, very CT-sided map, much like Inferno. Timeout called again. See who it's by. Little Bocks using they've used 3 of their 4 timeouts in the first 6 rounds.
That is maybe a little too antsy on the timeouts, Austin. You got to save those for when things get really tightly contested towards the latter part of the match, which did happen on Inferno, but here 3 of 4 used is just I'm not sure what's going on.
And 2 of them used after winning rounds too. It's not something you see all the time. Usually they're used either if something went massively wrong and they barely recovered, or somebody makes a huge hero play 1v4 1v5 and you got to clear comms. That's usually the times that you see a timeout used after winning a round. Not not this way usually.
I'm guessing they're having some sort of issue with comms or something that's springing up, because it's a lot to call up. A lot of timeouts to call anyway. Sapphire and Cirrus are going to get 2 openers here. Slay does manage to connect for 1. That's Blender with the Deagle, but they're getting flashed to oblivion here. And still managed to get 2. You got to be kidding me. Cirrus and Smiley cannot clear Vanessa and Blender out of pit here, and it's a 3v2 advantage. They can recover some guns as well. Blender peeks into Canal. Bouchard does manage to get one back, and Kimmy finds Vanessa. It's all up to Blender, and it won't happen, but still, the fact that it even gets that close is really not promising for the little Bucks, who at least take the lead, of course, in the round, but they're going to have to reinvest quite heavily into this one, Austin. Strange.
Yeah, it's a major concern.
Yeah.
And I was expecting them to call a timeout into this round. The way they've been calling their timeouts.
That's when a timeout would have been more useful, I think, is just to say, hey, guys, what happened there against the Pistols? I think they had the edge as well against Slay because the utility was good. They just didn't wide swing it to try and get those last 2 frags.
Yeah, and then the bomb goes forward, taking a fighting position, too. It drops in a bad spot, which really could have spelled doom for Little Bocks in that round. They got lucky out of that. And if they can grow off of it, if they can get more rounds at the board, they'll be fine. But perhaps, too, the overarching problem that they're almost out of a timeout is going to be lingering over them. That's something that to keep in mind because both these two teams have been very timeout reliant. Little Bocks being incredibly so, at least in this map. Sapphire, I believe, just got dinked on the drive-by through the half
with a P250.
Yeah.
What?
That's just bad luck. But I do like the idea. And it's a half-buy with armor here for Slay. They can crunch into sewers. The flash is going to go out. They're already through. Blender's got 1, and Vanessa's got another. Pippy Sippy comes through, and it's another situation which Little Bocks would like to avoid. The drive-bys are here. The bomb is down, and so is Kimmy. Slay are going to come back into this one. Pippy Sippy with a grin, and rightly so. That is a great round from Slay, building off of their near success in the last round, bringing it to fruition in this one. The pincer pays off, and Little Bocks, a little rocked, probably wishing they had more than 1 timeout left.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, that just was kind of a repetition of the previous round, except for this time Slay took it. A great flashbang thrown to set up that peek through Squeaky and the pincer attack towards construction. I think Little Bucks just hung around for far too long, and the dink that came through gave the information that Slay were looking for. So they pick up a pistol round, and man, these ecos and half-buys have been so lethal for both sides, and Slay will tie things up at 4-4 as a result. Little Bucks back onto a half-buy of their own. It's going to be 3 Tech 9s, the Deagle, and the P250. So they're trying to return the favor to Slay. Not much forward intel for Slay here. They really are holding onto the sites proper. Vanessa jumping around Dicebox, as she has been apt to do here. Info hopping. Flashbang going to get popped here. And nothing doing just yet. Here comes the push through the smoke by Little Bocks with a flashbang. A couple of flashbangs, in fact, to help them on through. And Gloop's going to get 1, maybe a second, and goes down. That's actually an even trade for Little Bocks, who are trying to get this bomb planted. Pippy Sippy comes on through to try and save the day, and will, in fact, get 2. Bouchard, last one standing, AK in hand, picked up off the ground. Oh, she has a tall task ahead of her, though.
Yeah, it's a mountain here for Bouchard. And the first peek comes the way of Galley. Galley will knock her down. 5-4 now in the favor of Slay. With their lead back. Rounds going back and forth, which these kinds of scrappy games do tend to favor the T side. The Little Bocks need to get this going. They need to be able to get around on the board clean with the guns, and more importantly, against pistols. That's been their kryptonite so far, and Overpass has been against the pistols. And for Slay, they've got the op for Blender, just need to get it activated. Overpass, such a strong opping map. Molotov goes in, Blender peeks forth, and spots out nothing, which means probably going to be a B take. And will they take the initiative? Will they go for the fights? Vanessa's going to clear out playground. Kimmy's waiting around, though. Could do some catching of her own. It's going to come down to timing, as you can expect. Vanessa, she does, but it doesn't even matter. Headshot delivered, bell rung. Player advantage here for Slay. Molotov into water as well. Cirrus has to run away from the boost up. Slay looking to dominate the rest of this half. Trying to take us to Mirage, which is map 3. Smiley, though, not going to be able to catch off the retreating Vanessa. Now is going back towards lane. Peeks with the utility out. Dashes behind. 1:02 on the clock. The take is not really set up at all by Little Bocks, and they're kind of relying on Smiley here to get anything done over on A, to kind of draw rotations and split towards B. That's kind of the exact opposite of what they wanted. They wanted to kill at the very least. It's hard to sell a fake with one death.
Little Bucks now, 39 seconds left on the clock. They're going to do something. Needs to happen now. Galley waiting here in Canal. Good angle held. Flashbang is thrown, and Galley just can't connect on the spray. Pippy Sippy, in fact, couldn't support either because Little Bucks hadn't come out far enough. Pippy Sippy connects for some damage with no frag. There's the frag and the second. She knows a player snuck by her as well. She's trying to track her down, but it will be Gloop to support from Heaven. And that is another round racked up for Slay. That was the full-on buy-up from the Little Bucks, who are now back to a tough economic situation. Could be a half buy coming through here, as we're going to see the replay. Yeah, Vanessa gaining that space. It actually starts with, I believe it's Blender, who went up pushing aggressively to Fountain, not seeing anything, and then probably said, hey, Vanessa, you might want to go in there and gain some more space while I fall back. And, well, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it's a great combo. It's a classic overpass push on the CT side, and that's one of the beauties of this map, is that you can take so much aggression, so much map control on the CT side based off of how much information you gain. And getting that opening kill by Vanessa onto Kimmy was just even better. A nade connects, a nade stack will actually do a ton of damage plus a kill. And the carpet bombing works out well for one and almost a second. The Little Bocks are not content with just that. At the very least, it looks like they want a bomb plant. They're congregating out towards long, ready to push on forward. Blender has the op ready and raring to go. Vanessa is nearby as well, supporting, keeping an eye on the lane. Would like to see a map boost, though, from Slay at some point here on the CT side. They play very passive, and they give a lot of room towards Little Bocks on A. Something that Little Bocks could probably try to exploit as this goes later and later into the half. Vanessa just going for the jump peek, spots out one, tosses the flash. Now they're ready to go. They know what's coming. Can they weather the storm? Vanessa won. Blender has to go to the sidearm. 5-7 mode down. Oh, Vanessa will spray down one more before Bouchard was able to trade it back. Look at the damage on the loop from the nade. The bomb is down. There's not for Bouchard. There's a deagle for Cirrus. Smiley's got the PT-50. Never mind, Cirrus is an AK. Even better. And Slay are up against the current here. Bouchard with one. Spots up the second. Does not need a peek. Does not need to overextend. Lucky to be alive.
Yeah, Galley's gonna go down. Nice headshot from Cirrus. And there's another half by, actually more of an eco on that round for the Little Bucks as they get a fifth round. Both teams with the pistols have been scary to deal with, and here's the nade that comes through. That nade stack is so effective when you have the boost coming through on the CT side, and well, that's what really kicks things off. Everything went the right way for the Little Bucks, and I have to say, Slay a little sloppy on the spray control on that A site. Anyway, they will still be able to buy up here. 4 A1Ss and the op on their side, and Little Bucks, same thing, except it's 4 AKs instead of the A1s. Blender again with the aggression, this time into connector. Doesn't connect on anything and will be backing off here towards the A site proper. Decides to post up perhaps at short A, at least momentarily. And Vanessa waiting at long. Cirrus gets the opener once more here, though, against Galley. That's the quick 5v4 for the Little Bucks. And, I mean, as you all may well know, Overpass very much CT-sided because of how quickly you can rotate back and forth from those bomb sites and how many angles, in fact, you can come through in those rotations. But right now, the Little Bucks, with 5 rounds already good, 6 will be even better if they can get it. Let's see what Slay has to say about this push that's going to come on through. Sapphire decides to charge in, goes and doesn't see anyone yet. She should be able to spot a player at pillar. And in fact, no, they don't spot anyone. Pippy, Sippy, and Blender get a couple of frags. Kimmy comes back with the big green to get 2, but it's Blender to respond onto Cirrus. Could be an off-the-op duel here as Kimmy's trying to decide if she goes for the fight or gets this bomb planted to dirt. Vanessa peering around from pit. She's got an opportunity to unsettle the Little Box, and there is the 2 frags for her. Vanessa seals things up for Slay, even though Little Box threatened in a very big way. It was good timing from Slay.
Yeah, great little timing there from Vanessa to spot the player short with utility in hand. That's the problem too. Sometimes you swap out right there. Just catches Bouchard with utility. Yeah, that wins the round single-handedly. Kimmy's unable to adapt, unable to really get that position cleared out with the op. With a rifle, like an AK, maybe there's a chance, but even then, Vanessa gets the drop on him. They mollied off that green door push too, expecting nobody to be through, but Vanessa already pushing down into pit, got by it. caught him on the timing. Sometimes it's better to take the utility out from behind cover. But even then, if Bouchard's behind the sandbags, it's still going to be a kill onto Kimmy. In another situation, it's a little rough. Blender, though, makes it even worse here in this round for Little Bocks. The opening pick on the pistol round will go awry. Blender picks up it up with the op, and now run boost out. Oh, an almost collateral there. She connects onto it. It's definitely two. Takes another shot, has to fall away. Goes with the flashbang out, looks for more. Vanessa now takes the peek, but a nice little one dig from Sapphire demolishes Vanessa. And Blender has to be careful. The pistols can overwhelm and overrun, and they do just that. Cirrus with the head jump from behind. Gloop flashes herself in, and is met by another 1D. 3 1Ds. And that's the dangerous part of pistols. Galley, one more, but only one. The M4 picked up by Smiley puts her to bed. And Pippi Sippy is going to be left in a 1v3. Bomb going down to B. And nothing much to do besides decide whether or not to save the op, because money on Slay is in no pretty spot. And it looks like Pippi Sippy is going to go for the retake here. M4 in hand and Heaven smoked.
Yeah, there isn't really much Pippi Sippy can do here. And if you're the Little Bocks, I mean, don't even bother going for the full-on buys. Just get with those pistols, right? No, I'm just kidding. But, I mean, the pistol rounds, the last 2 rounds have been on half buys or egos. So, yeah. Pippi Sippy is going to manage to get one onto Kimmy. Little Bocks have to be careful now. Hold the phone, hold the phone. Pippi Sippy trying to go for the 1v3 clutch, but cannot get the killing blow onto Cirrus. That will be that. And the Little Bucks back to their winning ways. And that actually, the back and forth, like you alluded to earlier, Austin, definitely favors the T's because the economy has now been broken on Slay's end.
Yeah, it has. It's broken economy, and it's going to make for an easy round for Slay, at least on paper. We've seen these eco rounds work out for both these sides. There is no rest against the pistols. But at least in theory, this should be an easy round for Little Bocks to convert. Tie things up at 7 apiece before we move into the last round of the half. We'll see if Blunder's Deagle can find any marks. Same with the P250s of Gloop. And, well, actually, Galley's just on the P2K, so $1,000 of investment here for Slay. But an M4 could be picked up here. A lot rests on the shoulders of Blender, but that head is no longer on her shoulders, and Vanessa falls at due time. Good opening picks there from Smiling towards Khan. Bomb not yet recovered, but Little Bocks are just clearing out their angles. And it should be a 7th now, especially now in the 5v3. Little Bocks with full control of the round. And Slay just waiting until they get the guns back in their hands.
Yeah. Slay have to spread their forces out at this point. 2 players towards B. One in construction, one in canal. But the A site is very, very vulnerable. Pippi Sippy only with the USP here. No armor, no utility. See if maybe she can get one. Push coming through from both bathrooms and long. Pippi just playing very passively, waiting for the fights to come her way. Utility is tossed on forward. That's a great Molotov. Pippi's going to have to peek off of it, and Sapphire is right there at long to take care of business. Only Galley and Gloop left, and they have to come all the way from Connector back towards the A site. You see the Little Bocks closing the space, and they get all of the Slay members there on that pistol round and don't lose a body. That's the way it usually goes, but it hasn't been the case so far in this BO3. That said, we are tied up at 7, and this is just continuing to be a great T side for the Little Bucks.
Yeah, looking to get 8 on the board as well. Their T side on Inferno was quite potent. He got them the win after all. If they can win this half, at the very least, it sets themselves up for a very nice CT side finish to this map and to this series. And of course, they have to keep taking it 1 round at a time. 3 FAMASs for Slay, only 1 kit that's on Gloop. And utility is sorely lacking, but Blender opens it up. Bouchard gets caught out in Playground. She can swing or slide no more in this one. Has to watch for the rest of this half. It's her teammates battle for the finisher. Down a player. Yacht from Kimmy looking for an opener. It's going to be hard pressed to get anything open right now. Unless it's out towards A. Slay. They're turtling up again. We saw this quite a bit on Inferno. Little Bocks are going to have to crack this one open one more time before they move on to the CT side of their map pick. Sapphire is probing, so is Cirrus, but she's done this so many times. Surely they're expecting, surely they're ready. Doesn't matter if they're ready or not. Headshots, double doink there from Cirrus. And Pippi Sippy's on the ground.
Yeah, Slay. They reinforced that B site, but I mean, Little Bucks playing them like a fiddle at this point because only one player was towards B. That was Cirrus. Everyone else with Little Bucks were heading to the A site. Still, there are 2 players here for Slay, so it's not yet lost. Vanessa, who's been anchoring down the A site for the entirety of this half, continues to info hop around Dicebox. Will eventually stop. 25 seconds left, so a bit tight for the Little Bucks. They have to push now, and here comes the smoke. They're going to try and go for the XQ with less than 20 seconds left. No presence up forward. They have to move quickly. 14 seconds left now. Advantage might creep Slay's way, but Cirrus is going to get one. Vanessa finds the 2K with the FAMAS for Smiley. Cleans her out. That makes it a 2v2. Bomb's going to go down. Only the FAMAS is left. They try to jump through the smoke. At least Gloop does, and will go down. Galley, the last one standing, makes it all the way to Dicebox. Finds one. Makes it a 1v1. Can she clutch it? She's got the opportunity. Smiley missed the shots. Pulls out the pistol, but will clutch it out. Little Bucks take the round and the half, 8-7, as we head to a break. And welcome back, everyone, to the second half here between Slay and the Little Bucks. And Little Bucks with a very good T side, in fact. 8 rounds pulled off. And I mean, look, both teams had their successes with the pistols out, but it was the Little Bucks who really got that pistol round victory and gave themselves the momentum they needed to come out with a win there, at least a lead heading into the second half, Austin.
Yeah, and Little Bocks really did battle back from a lot of adversity. In fact, they used 3 of their 4 timeouts in the first 6 rounds. And there were plenty of moments where they probably could have used that extra timeout towards the later portions of it all. But they overcame the adversity. They got that pistol round win. They obliterated Slay in a couple of rounds. They broke the economy at the right times. They got that lead going into half number 2. So for Little Bocks, they got a T-side lead. They just have to hold the line now on the CT side. And I'm actually liking the fact that it's a little more of an aggressive map here in terms of a CT side for Little Bocks. I think that'll help them out a lot more than Inferno. And we'll see how they want to play it. I would like to see some aggression towards Fountain here on the pistol, though. I like to see like a nade stack towards Fountain on pistol. It's always fun to see something aggressive like that. But it looks like they're going to go for a more standard setup. 4 towards B, 1 towards A, just a spot here. Bouchard has the spawn, so she'll be the one to go forth with that beautiful classic CS source knife.
Yeah, it is a very pretty knife. Smiley going to be peering on in from Canal to Monster, has the first engagement and wins it. Oh no! Oh man, she right-clicked instead of trying to left-click and it started taking the silencer off. That means that she goes down and gives Slay a chance to get back into this round. Kimmy gets Gush down to now 0. Gloop is going to find that. Bouchard and Cirrus, the last 2 standing, trying to save the day for their squad, and they almost will now, and there it is! Bouchard with 2, Cirrus with 1, and they are clean in the 2v3. Bouchard celebrating a little bit there. They're just looking around to see if there are any pistol upgrades to find, but either way, this will be a 9th round victory on the board for the Little Bocks.
I think they're also looking for the kit, too. There it is, yep. Cirrus looking for that kit, 9-7. But here's the thing, bomb down for Slay, plus 3 kills means they can buy. And we'll probably see Galil's coming out on this side. We'll see an aggressive play here from Slay. Don't want to let Little Bocks get comfortable. They don't want to let Little Bocks get anything. It's a fantastic retake from Smiley, or rather from Bouchard and Cirrus, though. And just master for work there on the retake to get this round back in their favor. 3 Galils, 2 MAC-10s. No slouch of a buy at all from Slay. 3 MP9s, 2 rifles for Little Bocks. So technically Slay have a better buy, at least in terms of firepower. Little Bocks with more utility, but that's to be expected given as it is the force buy from Slay. 3 kits as well for the CT side, but they have to be very conscious not to lose this round. If they lose this round, Slay can tie it up. But if they win, they put the stranglehold on. They put the squeeze on Slay. As long, of course, as they counter the pistols, which has proven to be a little difficult for both sides. But if Little Bocks can do that, they put themselves in a great spot to be able to convert this series, convert this map, and pretty much throw whoever's going to top Group B into absolute pandemonium.
1 minute left here on the clock. The XQ comes in, but Kimmy up close against that smoke gets 1. Bouchard a second. Blender's trying to get her team back into this round, and there we go. Gloop actually follows up on Kimmy, makes it a 3v3 that should secure the plant at the very least. As some utility goes on forward beyond the dice box. Oh, nice little flick from Smiley. She was almost dead to rights, but managed to take down Gloop and make this a 3v2. Flashbang thrown towards long as well. Blender not phased at all by it. Peeks around, gets the damage on 1, a frag on another. The 2K, no, denied, but it's enough at least of a distraction to let Vanessa come through and take down Smiley. But in the smoke, the defusal's gonna come through, and Sapphire does manage to get the round, and even salt in the wound with the frag onto Vanessa. Little Bucks steal 1 away and get a 10th.
Big 10th here for Little Bocks. They do lose 4, and Slay with the plant can buy up again. They're going to do so. And of course, this buy is even stronger now. 2 AKs on the side of Slay, 2 Galils and the MAC-10 on Vanessa. Little Bocks, the FAMASs, the Galil, 1 M4 and the MP9 for Cirrus. But overall, Little Bocks, they can convert this round again. Premise still continues. They set themselves up with a better and better opportunity to win this map. Gloop and Pippi getting a lot of damage taken. Sapphire spamming away from Toxic Barrel. Getting mowed down, though, now by Gloop. Traded back just a little bit too late by Cirrus, who's really having a map. 24 and 11 right now. Head on shoulders above the server. That's a second with the MP9 up close. Looking around for a third. Bomb will go down, though. Too many different angles to find. But here come the kills again. It's going to be a flood of little Bocks pushing on through. Galley with another. Blender now brings it to a 2v2. And Slay giving themselves an opportunity, but Smiley with the drive-by headshot leaves a low HP Galley in a 1v2. Mowed down by the very same. Bouchard hops on the bomb, gets that defused with the kit. And, well, it's going to be another buy-up probably from Slay. But little Bocks getting stronger and stronger as the rounds go on. And Slay starting to fade out into the night.
Yeah.
Will it be a quiet fade, though, or do they have some noise still to make?
Cirrus just so good there to hang on to the site, getting that headshot mid-range, right, with the MP9, which it is known for being quite powerful, even at mid-range, usually a close-range weapon, though. Well, after that, the reinforcements come through. I'm actually surprised Slay was able to get a couple of frags to stay in that post-plant, because it just felt like a blitz was coming through from the little Box, and momentum was swinging entirely in their favor. But Slay hung in a little bit longer before the little Box managed to take that round. Now Kimmy posted up here in short bathrooms looking towards party and gets flashed out of there, so she says, I'm also out of here. I'm not going to move back in for that fight. Bouchard peeks up, spots a body, and decides to fall off that fight too. Information has been gained, so at least she can call it to her teammates that the hit might come to A. Likely going to stick around and connect her, or maybe try for a flank because she's creeping on forward. Oh, Kimmy pulls out the knife. The timing could have been terrible there, but the peek doesn't come through for Slay. In fact, they're going to fall off for a moment longer. Kimmy does connect towards long onto Pippy Sippy. There's the opening frag for the little Bucks, and Slay really needs something to go their way, and Kimmy spots out another one, boosted on top of the flowers there. Galley is dropped. Smiley finds Blender, and finally, at least a frag here for Slay as Kimmy is taken out, but still, it's a two-man advantage in favor of the little Box, and Vanessa and Gloop are going against the flow of play here onto the A site. Smiley spots out one up close and personal. Vanessa does manage to get a response, but Cirrus does so much damage to Gloop, taking her down to 4 HP, but Gloop survives to perhaps get a bomb plant here, but it's going to be tightly contested because both little Buck players are coming in here.
Yeah, look at Bouchard, or rather Sapphire. Bouchard's out long, Sapphire's underneath, and Gloop might even walk down towards Sapphire. Look at the time! Gloop saving?
What's going on? At least try.
Or does Gloop not realize there's not enough time?
Oh, no.
She doesn't know the time, does she? Or is it just an elaborate save? I think it's just the elaborate save call. Either way, off back from the little Box. And
I have to criticize that one because you're on full loss bonus, and there's really no reason to try and go for the save. You got to try and plant that bomb and at least take a fight or something. Try to make anything happen in the round. Instead, the little Box honestly get one for free and get to keep those two rifles they had in that previous round. So, I mean, money has been a little tight for the little Box, despite the fact that they haven't lost a round here in the second half. But, I mean, they're finding a way to win the round, so it doesn't really matter that much. Gloop will at least get the AK into this one, so hopefully that save, a little unorthodox, but hopefully it pans out here for the Slay side, as they're going to send 4 players down into Monster, likely all 5. You have Galley hanging back a little bit, but Sapphire will get engaged on and gets dinked down to 17, but still managed to get the frag, and a support flash going to be thrown here by Cirrus. In fact, a couple to try to keep Slay at bay, and it works. Sapphire gets another chance to peek, will go down, but pretty sure that's all that the little Box needed to hang on to this B site.
Smiley tries to get out of heaven, sprayed down by Gloop. Bomb not yet down, though. Cirrus sprays her away, and Galley low HP, 30 HP to be exact, with a MAC-10 in hand. Up in a 1v3, the op is trained on her position, an AK and an M4 also keeping an eye on her. There's no upgrades either. Time is against her. And she's going to rotate around towards short, try and take a different angle. Maybe even go up con. Does have plenty of time to go for something crazy. But as you mentioned from the last round, full loss bonus, no reason to save, especially with just a MAC-10. Galley has no intentions of doing that. Moving forward, step by step, tosses the fake flash out, making all the noise, tag down to 10. And now, eventually finished off by Bouchard, 13-7. And it's 5 straight on the CT side bounce for Little Box.
Yeah. And I mean, the worst part about it, right, is that the economy's broken for Gloop because of that save. So, I mean, at least you're going to get an AK with armor, but you don't get any utility. Or teammates can probably drop her some util.
Yeah.
I imagine they would, but still, you know,
almost worth getting the Galil there, though.
Yeah. Anyway, match going to be paused here. Slay finally using a timeout. In fact, we saw all those timeouts come out through the little Box, 3 of the 4 in the first half, but Slay didn't use a single one. Now they're finally going to call it, being down 6 rounds everything has swung in favor of the little box, and even the economy is starting to get built up a little bit, at least in Bouchard and Kimmy's case. The rest a little light, but, you know, a clean round victory coming through here would potentially spell doom for Slay.
Yeah, and Slay is starting to come to the end of their rope. Oh, they're tossing nades down to the B-side players. I like that a lot. That's a neat little touch there. And look at that spray from Sapphire. Flash assist comes through. Actually, a Molotov gets the first. Yeah. So flame kill plus a spray kill, and 2 players left for Slay. Kind of, well, 3 technically, but Pippy Sippy, 10 HP. Almost didn't see your name tag on there when it took my quick glance. It's a rough spot here for Slay. And it's getting worse and worse by the second. Little Box looking more and more confident. And Slay, they called their timeout, yeah, but they just got mowed down through a smoke. It's just continuing to spiral out of control for them. 3 rounds for Little Box to punch their ticket into a 2-0 victory. And that would mean, at least, unless there was a 2-1 in the other series, in the other group series, we would continue on in NA Impact with 2-0s.
Yeah. I kind of want to see a 3-map series, though. I don't know if we're going to get it here. But Slay is going to at least get one. I mean, they lost the opening player, or they lost a third player there before getting a response. 4v2 in favor of the Little Box. 30 seconds left. Utility left as well for Slay. 2 flashes and 2 Molotovs, but with so little time, I don't know what they'll be able to achieve here. Cirrus does get tagged down to 15, but Sapphire's there to support. Oh, nice shot from Galley through the wall in order to get Cirrus. She's going to charge on forward. 16 seconds left. The second frag would help even more. Maybe the third onto Heaven. There it is! Galley finds the 3-piece. 10 seconds left. She doesn't even need the bomb plant. Galley with the 1v4 clutch and the ace on the round. What? Slay are back on the board in the most unexpected of ways.
Sometimes all it takes is a hero play, John. And Galley puts the team in her backpack. Now she just has to carry him up the mountain, which is now a 5-round deficit. Now, what a round from Galley, though. The headshots in the end, and then taking out the op of Kimmy as the finisher. That's just basically the nice little cutscene finisher you get after a nice combo, because knowing that's Kimmy's op as the last player standing, that's no small task, although Cirrus has definitely been the heavy lifter for Little Box now. The CT economy also kind of busted here. Bouchard goes forward. It's a mow-down job right now by Slay. As soon as the round starts, it's just about over. Only Pippy Sippy coming out without a frag, and Slay, 2 rounds in a row. Is this going to be the start of something special? Little Box can't full buy into this round either. So it'll be pistols again. We know how lethal they are with these guns, but it's not exactly what they'd like. Kimmy goes for the mag.
They can invest a little more heavily here, and they do. They got some body armor coming through. You got the Swag 7, as you mentioned, in Kimmy's hands, and some upgraded pistols on the Little Box side. The thing is, yeah, I mean, to think that the Little Box won every single round in this second half up until Slay, or I should say Galley, came out with that 1v4 clutch and then couldn't buy up is a testament to how well Slay have been playing, at least to ensure that damage has been done to their economy round after round after round. Cirrus is going to get 1 here, but Slay comes through with 2. That's Blender, and she flicks around to find Kimmy trying to be sneaky beaky-like through that squeaky door. And, well, it's all up to Bouchard now. Blender looking for the 4K. Lines up the crosshair very well and fires a little bit too soon there. Bouchard baiting it out. And now, well, it's going to be Vanessa to get it because Blender was fully blinded. Either way, double digits found for Slay. When hope looked like it was lost, Galley was their savior, and now they're very much back into this match. Oh, there's the final timeout call by Little Box as well, Austin.
This is the time to use it, too.
Yeah.
So they've held on to it since round 7. This is where it really can come into play. They got guns again, and if they win this round, it's not going to be an easy step forward because Slay have a lot of money still left over. But this is still going to be a round where Little Box need to stop the bleeding. They need to put a tourniquet on. They need to get back into winning ways before Slay can completely flip this one around. It was a 6-round deficit, and Slay have closed to only 3. They've cut it in half, got out their sword, they got slice. But there's still 3 more rounds to go before they can claim tie and 6 to overall victory. got 1/3 of what they need. Little Bocks need 3 again to win this one out. Kimmy's going aggro with the op, peeking around the smoke. Spotting nothing so far. Nice damage by Smiley, though, through the spam wall. Takes Pippi Sippy down to 27 HP. A little bit of util probing now by Slade towards the B side. Kimmy mowed down through the smoke now. Gloop is starting to turn it on, too. Cirrus will trade it back. That's the 30 bomb.
They're both watching the same angle here.
2.0 K. Yeah, they are. Oh, what a peek. What a flash. And now it's mowing down jobs by Little Bocks again. But Gloop's gone out forward. Gloop's got nothing out of that. And it leaves it all on the shoulders of Galley yet again. The backpack, it's comfy. But is it going to be another clutch? Should be a 4K 1v3. Not quite the Ace 1v4. Still an important clutch and a nice little stab in the back by Bouchard. And IE is right, John.
Yeah, Bouchard's having none of it this time. She's like, no. I'm not giving that space to work with. And gets the headshot there to give a 14 round to the Little Bucks. And honestly, the Little Bucks took a risk there. I understand why they did. They send 2 players towards Sandbag so they can go for the double peek in towards Squeaky Door, but it leaves all the space in the world open in Canal for a flank to come in. Luckily for them, Slay hold off and they don't push up, but that could have been catastrophic for them. That said, now they have the 4-round lead, and Slay still with enough money here in the bank account to buy up full-on AKs and the op in Blender's hand. Smiley watching here from Graffiti. And there's the opener. Kimmy finds the op frag all the way from short A towards connector. And Galley will be her first victim. The player that clutched it out for Slay in that critical round is now gone. Pippi Sippy, perhaps the hero in this one, is going to get the opener here. Cirrus gets smoked off, gives away her position. She doesn't realize the player's moved up the walkway, and Vanessa will manage to get one. Smiley supports to ensure it stays even numbers here at a 3v3. And, well, here comes the utility from the Little Box, but now they're being held off here. Bouchard tries to open up some space with a frag and then takes down Gloop. In fact, it's Kimmy with the op up close to get that. It's all up to Pippi Sippy, who gets one and done. Bouchard finds the last frag, wins the 1v1, and gives the Little Box series point, Austin.
Series point, revenge point. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. It's the first game of Impact for both of these two sides that went the way of Slay. And now, in a pretty critical matchup, Little Bocks are looking to turn it around. One more round is all they need. And they do it even better style too, John. They wouldn't need overtime if this continues like this one is playing out. It's a little more style points there for Little Bocks. Molotov doesn't quite connect. The op of Blunder will go out. Bouchard just tossing a flash off the tree. Does not elect to peek forward. Pippi Sippy just sitting back in towards connector. And it's a pretty standard con A default here from Slay. They're going to try and split forward. Bouchard not blind, though, dancing around that smoke. Not going to get spammed down. Blender has to be careful not to get killed as Bouchard dashes back. Now the op will strike while blind. And he levels it out to a 4v4 even playing field. And that was the only A player, too. There's a con player in Smiley, but she's going to go up and get mowed down with the AK. That's the problem with the MP9 and con. Peeking out towards a player in party. It's not an easy duel to take, and you have to be very lucky to win that. Kimmy's come up on A. She's got to mount a hero hold, but Slay do not need to move yet. They have plenty of time. They can just hold. They can sweat this one out. Ooh, we're going to go for it, though. Kimmy caught with utility, and in they come.
What? Kimmy blinded, just peeks around and just goes off muscle memory to find that shot. 3v3. 44 seconds left on the clock here. And the Little Box trying to hang on and seal this one up. Cirrus is going to take down Vanessa. Now it's all up to Gloop and Blender, who do have control somewhat of this A site. They know that there are some members here lurking in the shadows. That one of them is, of course, Cirrus, and she's going to fall off here from bank. They're going to push, try to get this frag, and that's a mistake. Cirrus gets one, only one, but it is Blender having to clutch out in a 1v2 with 74 HP, 2 flashes, a smoke, and the AK. 13 seconds left. She has to stick this bomb to dirt soon. Needs to do it in a bit of a panic, of course. Doesn't realize there's a player at bathrooms. This should be over. Oh, baits out the peak, but it doesn't matter. Kimmy hits the shot. No mistake of it. And the Little Box are celebrating. They've got the revenge here, Austin. But more than that, right? They go to 3-1, and they take first place over